Hello, welcome to a new episode of the FreeCAD 1.1 CAM series. In this episode, we are going to talk about the stock of a job. We are going to cover the types of stock, when to use each of the types, and how to set things so you get your desired results from your CNC job and make it easy to create the operations. The stock is the representation of the material that you are going to cut in order to get your required model or models. There are a lot of situations when you can easily set up a job without setting the stock as an exact replica of the piece of material that you are going to cut, but doing this can help you a lot when setting more complex jobs. Remember, check out the entire series for all the information you need to understand about how the CAM workbench works and to be able to make almost anything on your machine using the great and free tool that FreeCAD is. We all know this has to be done, so let's get it done quickly. Subscribe to my Patreon page to support me and to get access to uninterrupted ad-free videos. If you need assistance, you can find one-on-one live video lessons through my Ko-Fi page, and you can buy the book, be it digital or a paperback version, through my Ko-Fi page. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. The stock of a CAM job can be of one of the following types. A simple box, which by default is the bounding box of the model or models that are in the job. An extended models bounding box, which is similar to the box, but you will have an extension on each of the sides of the box so you can manipulate it as you like. A cylinder, which is a cylinder that will always face up and that encloses the model or the models of the job. The last type of stock, which is also the most powerful of them, is the use existing solid. This means that you will have to choose one of the solids in the document to be used as stock. This option takes a little longer to set up because you will have to define the solids using any of the FreeCAD workbenches, but this gives you the freedom to use any shape of stock that you need. For example, when setting up a job for a 4-axis machine, such as in this situation, I will have to go to the part workbench, create a new cylinder, set its dimensions, rotate it, and then by going back to the CAM workbench, I can create a new job using the object that I want to mill and set the stock to use existing solid, choose the cylinder, and now I will have the stock necessary for this type of operation. Let's take them one by one and we will get into more details about each of the options, how to use them and when to use them. First, let's talk about the create box type of stock. When selected, it will have its dimensions set so that all the models will sit inside this box. You also have the length, width, and height of the box. You can modify them after selecting this option. For example, changing the width will make it wider. But a really important thing that you need to remember is that after changing these dimensions, if you switch to another type of stock and then go back to create box, all the dimensions will be reset. So once you have changed these dimensions and you are using the create box option, remember, don't switch it to another type of stock because you will lose the dimensions that you entered. Even worse, no matter if you use expressions for these values, they will also get overwritten when you change back to this, so there's no workaround such as in other situations. So, what is this type of stock useful for? It is suitable for jobs milled out of a rectangular piece of material when you have the exact dimensions and just need a quick setup to get the job done. Select create box, maybe modify its dimensions a little bit if needed, and that's all. You can go create your operations and move to the machine. The same applies for create cylinder. It is an object created on the fly. It will hold all the objects in the job. You can modify the radius and the height, but as soon as you change to another type of stock and move back to create cylinder, all these values will be reset. Another important thing about the create cylinder stock is that it is always facing up. You cannot rotate the cylinder and use it, for example, in a 4-axis operation. For that, you will need to create a custom object and use the use existing solid option for the stock. You can use the create cylinder option if you have round objects, for example, a serving tray or something like this. You need to have a quick setup just to enclose that object, use the create cylinder and create your operations very fast, export the job and mill them on the CNC. Both the create box and create cylinder are very useful when you need just a one-time operation and you need it fast, but I don't recommend using them when you're creating jobs that you might want to reuse later. You might want to modify the objects inside of them. In that case, don't use these two options. You have other types of stock that you can use for such more complex jobs and repeatable jobs. The third stock type is the extend models bounding box. At first, it seems that it behaves just like the create box option, and even though it looks similar to create box, there are some really important differences between the two types of stock. Here, you cannot modify the overall dimensions of the box, but you can modify the extensions. This means that this type of stock will have all the models in the job. Inside of it, it will create a box around all those objects and add these extensions on all of the sides. You have two for X. The first one is on the left in the negative side of X. The second value for the X extension is on the right on the positive side of X. The same applies for Y, so the first value is on the negative side, the second value is on the positive side. Of course, the same for Z. What is important here is the extensions on the negative side and on the positive side. They are both positive numbers. For example, here on the x-axis, I will have an extension of 9 mm on the left on the negative side along the x-axis. So if I want to make the box bigger, I will just increase this extension. I can also use negative values for extensions. For example, a minus 10 mm value for this extension will make the stock smaller than the original bounding box that is extended using this type of stock. If you want to modify this extension using expressions, you can do that by selecting the job, selecting the stock and going to the extensions value. You will have here the enter expression option, which you don't in the job dialog box. But again, there is the same problem as in the create box or create cylinder option. Once I switch to another type of stock and go back to extend models bounding box, all the extensions will be reverted to the default values 1 mm. So remember and take good care when changing the type of stock. Maybe write down these values somewhere if you have a custom setup. Remember, they do get changed when switching the type of stock. One thing that you need to be really careful at when using extend models bounding box is setting the origin. I've made a special case here with extensions of just 0.1 mm, and let's say that I want to set the extension in this corner. I select the point, click on set origin, and the origin is set there. But if I zoom really close in, you will see that I have actually selected the corner of the stock, not the corner of the object. Sometimes this might be the required behavior, but a lot of times you want to select the corner of the object. So if the stock is pretty close to the object, take good care to select the correct point, the correct vertex for setting the origin. The last type of stock that you can use is the existing solid. This means that before selecting this option, you need to have a solid that represents the shape of the stock. It can be a part solid, a part design body, or even an imported mesh that has been transformed using the part workbench, transformed to a solid. You can use that to define the stock for a job. Not only that, you can select any solid in the document, but you can also select a certain feature in a body as the stock. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. I have this custom stock object here, which is a part design body and has two features, part 001 and part 002. If I edit the job and go to the list of available objects for the use existing solid stock, you can see that I have both of them here, and this means that I can select just part 001, which has these two boxes, or the next feature, part 002, which includes another object. I want to mention that this custom stock has the allow compound true checked. This means that it can have several separate solids. That is why you can see the stock in 3 separate objects. So remember that you can also use one of the features for selecting the stock for a CNC job, and this can be very useful in a lot of situations. But what you cannot use as the stock for a CNC job, for a CAM job, is a part. A part is basically a group of solids and that cannot be selected as the solid for a CAM job. Of course, there are workarounds for that, but just selecting a part object and using it as the stock cannot be done in this version of FreeCAD. The best practice is using accurate dimensions and shape to properly represent the existing material that you are going to cut. This can help with waste reduction and to spot potential issues such as not having enough material to cut everything that needs to be cut in a job. Now that we talked about the 4 types of stock, let's see how the stock influences the job and the operations. Well, there are just 2 operations for now that take into account the shape of the stock. Those 2 operations are mill face and the adaptive operation. For example, using the mill face operation to flatten the stock before any other milling is done will take into account the shape of the stock, not the shape of the object that I'm milling. Let's change the stock from extend models bounding box to use existing solid, and let's select the second path as we talked earlier. Click on the OK button, and you can see that the mill face operation will mill all the separate solids of the stock, but just what is really necessary to be milled, not all the way up to the highest of the 3 solids. So using a custom stock for the mill face operation will reduce the total time a lot. Besides the mill face operation, the adaptive operation also takes into account the shape of the stock. It is not that straightforward for now, but let me show you how to set up an adaptive operation and how to set everything so it only mills the necessary areas of the stock. You see, I have this job here with this object and the custom object for the stock. So in order to get this surface, I will need to make a milling here and just a slight material removal on this wall. Let's set an adaptive operation. Select the face, click on the adaptive button. Let's change the step over to 50% to make it compute faster, and click on the apply button to see the toolpath. First, the toolpath is just as any other toolpath. It doesn't take into account the stock. And I cannot check this somewhere here in this interface as many other features in FreeCAD. I will have to go to the Data tab. So select the adaptive operation, and I have this option here, Model Aware Experiment. Check this button. It will take a lot longer to compute, but I think it's a great advantage just to wait for the computer to make the calculations, not wait for the machine to do a lot of airtime. So the recomputation is done. You can see that it only mirrors this area here, well, with a little overlapping, and the bottom face. For now, the algorithm has a little bit of a problem. You can see there are more than 1 pass for each line, but I'm sure this will get fixed pretty soon. I will disable the adaptive operation now because I want to show you some final thoughts about the stock and I don't want to have it recompute for every change that I make. By the way, this is a really good practice whenever having computing intensive operations. After setting them up, disable them until you are ready to export the job. This way, everything will work much faster. So let's go to the job and let me remind you the most important thing you need to remember after modifying the stock, which is don't forget to set the origin where you want it to be set. No matter what type of stock I choose, changing it from one type to another, the origin will stay in the same place until I use the set origin button, until I choose a geometry and click on the set origin button. So changing the stock, modifying its dimensions, needs an origin reset, positioning the origin where you are going to also set the origin on the machine. This is all about the stock. Hopefully in the future versions, the stock will influence even more the way the operations work. Until then, let's meet for the next video in which we are going to talk about the toolbits, how to add new toolbits using the predefined shapes and what every setting for the toolbits does. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to support me, you can do that on my Patreon page or on my Ko-Fi page. There you will also find the pre-sale for the book, be it in digital or physical version. Thank you for watching and see you next time.